quarter. He played a lot of people. Al Shipman, that young kid out of West Palm Beach, looks like he stopped for about a 3 or 4 yard gain, just keeps chugging.
Well, I mean, it was a tremendous effort by him, and he's got great speed. He's the fastest guy on our football team, and we just ran the same play, except it's outside zone, blocked very well up front. You got Robert Woodis, Chris Jones blocking there, Omar Andrews, and he just does a great job. You can see Marcus Wimberly doing a great job at wide receiver, and Allen just breaks into the clear and just outruns everybody. And when you get big plays like that, it sure makes a difference as far as getting yardage and winning football games, obviously.
That's Carl Lewis impression there.
Yeah, exactly.
Now you got a play coming up here. Frank Costa will go to a young man, a freshman, played with your son Bryce at Palmetto High School, Trenton Jones.
Well, Trenton, a true redshirt freshman, played a lot at tailback, and we ran him in motion across, and they happened to be blitzing, and we had maximum protection on, and we protected it very well up front, and we're one-on-one man coverage, and Frank gets the ball to Trent, and Trent breaks a couple tackles and gets into the end zone. We caught him in the right defense and executed the play extremely well.
Had the right play called against the blitz. Now, defensively, I didn't think there was much chance to have drama in a 56-0 game. But with the third-team defense in there, the fans are all screaming for the shutout.
Well, we had a lot of young guys in the game. We were trying to get the shutout, and they were all freshmen and sophomores and redshirt freshmen, and it was 4th and 5, and we made a big play, Jay Johnson and Kennard Lang, and kept them out of the end zone. So it was always nice to get that shutout.
All right, that is our On the Line segment for this week. When we come back here on the PCA Dennis Erickson Show, we'll preview today's opponent, the Arizona State Sun Devils.
Greetings, sports fiends. This is a Bell South Mobility.
Thank you very much, and thanks for sticking with us here on the PCA Dennis Erickson Show. The Hurricanes go into Sun Devil Stadium tonight, a night game at Sun Devil Stadium, so you know they're going to be fired up for it. Arizona State started off 22-16 over Oregon State, a game where the Beavers gave Arizona State a run for their money.
Well, they really did. I've, of course, watched the game a lot of times now, but I watched it Saturday night on TV, and Oregon State played extremely well. They ran a wishbone, but Arizona State prevailed at the end, and they moved the football. They got a young quarterback that's an outstanding player, and they played great defense. And you know, they're a football team last year who beat UCLA, who went to the Rose Bowl. They were kind of up and down, and they're very much the same team coming back. So it's really difficult to get a read on them. I know they have a lot of talent, and we've got to play on the road, so it's going to be a very difficult challenge for us.
And they also beat Arizona last year 7-6, so they're capable of some good football.
Yeah, they can play with anybody in the country, so we've got to go back there and play like we're capable of.
Now, they gave up 311 yards on the ground, although Oregon State is an option team and ran the ball almost exclusively. Obviously, you're going to try and get your run game going against them like you did against Georgia Southern.
Well, we are, Frank, except they're an 8-man front, and an 8-man front against a conventional offense is designed to stop the running game, and so I'm sure that because of our success, they're going to come in with the number one idea is to stop the running game, try to force us to throw it. And so we've got to go in there with the idea we are going to run it, but probably with the idea that we've got to be able to throw it, run play action pass, do some different things to keep them off us as far as stopping the run is concerned.
You mentioned their quarterback, Jake Plummer. He came in last year. They started him toward the middle of the season. They're now 6-2 under him. What does he show you?
Well, he's an outstanding young athlete. We looked at him out of high school. He's from Boise, Idaho, and I'm very familiar with that part of the country, and he's just an outstanding athlete that's got a good arm, and he went in midway through the season as a freshman and played really well, and he's very poised, and he's one of the better young quarterbacks in college football.
Their running back, Chris Hopkins, had a big game against Oregon State, had 130 yards and scored the winning touchdown.
Well, he's very elusive. He's very quick inside. He's got very good feet, and he was their second tailback last year behind Mario Bates, and he's an outstanding football player.
Clyde McCoy caught 7 balls and also had a long touchdown pass, and your pass defense will be tested this week, unlike week 1.
Yeah, he does, and he's a big play receiver for him, and he scored on a inside receiver screen and went all the way, and he's got that kind of speed, and really he's a receiver that we've got to stop.
Bruce Snyder, you know him fairly well, coached against him while you were in the Pac-10.
I coached against Bruce twice when he was at California, and then I coached against him twice when I was at Miami when he's at Cal. So I've coached against him 4 times, and I know his staff. In fact, his offensive coordinator played for me and coached for me at Idaho. So I'm very familiar with what they do, and they're very competitive coaches. So they're gonna give us everything we have to deal with.
All right, when we come back on the Dennis Erickson, the PCA Dennis Erickson Show, you're not going to believe what you're going to see because I'm going to go in the weight room. I know you're looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Stay with us here on the PCA Dennis Erickson Show.
By Kane Sport Magazine, America's foremost authority on University of Miami football. Get the inside perspective on the Hurricanes in Kane Sport. Call 1-800-635-KANE to order your subscription.
Welcome back to the PCA Dennis Erickson Show. I'm Frank Ford. Once again, we tape at Don Shula's All-Star Cafe every Tuesday night about 9 or 9:30, so come on out and join us. Well, this year on the Dennis Erickson Show, I want to prove to the coach that I can do more than just sit in the chair and talk. So I'm going to jump right in, head first, into Hurricane football, and here's step one. You may be wondering, as I have over the years, just what it takes to play Hurricane football. Well, it takes a lot. And here on the Dennis Erickson Show, I'm going to try and give you an idea of what it takes to be a Hurricane player. First thing we got to do is pump up a little bit. Hey, Coach, how you doing? Good to see you. All right, we're going to get an idea what it's like to be a Hurricane football player here. We're going to go through the workout. Can you pump me up a little bit?
Are you sure you want to play football?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, let's get started. Frank, the first exercise we're going to do here is a squatting exercise. You got to remember, the most important thing in football is the strengthening of the legs. Explosive power, total domination.
That's right.
So
come off the ball, baby.
Come off the ball. So let's get started.
All right.
Face a little bit. You have the chest up. Sit back on the heels. Come down. Exhale on the way up. Inhale at the top. Up. Exhale coming up. Inhale. Down low. Up. Good job. Frank, the next exercise is the bench press. Obviously, you've probably done this before. Anyway, this movement will help to develop your chest and arms. To make the football team here at Miami, you're going to have to bench at least 335 pounds.
Can we make it 35? Forget the 300, Coach.
Okay, inhale, lower it down to the chest, up, back to me. Inhale, up, back up to me. Inhale, up. Good job.
Hey, we can get that 335, right? We just got to multiply, eh?
That's right. Frank, all we got to do is take 335, divide it by 35, and figure the number of reps. Probably somewhere, what, around...
Yeah, between 10 12 reps. We'll get 335.
Yeah, you'll get that 335 one way or another. Frank, one of the most important areas that we can't overlook is the trunk. We have to do our abdominal work, and there are a number of ways we do it. By the way, you like playing beach volleyball?
Oh, Coach, I love the beach.
Hey, great. Here, catch. You said you like the beach, right?
Absolutely.
Peter Todd or the beach?
Beach.
All right. So how you doing, Frank?
Oh, I'm having a ball, Coach. Coach, that was a great workout. I think I'm ready to go. I'm ready.
Frank, you did a pretty good job, but not so fast. Probably the most important part of our program is the conditioning that we do out here on the field. What we're going to do now is a little speed resistance work.
Speed resistance, good. You know, I have deceptive speed, Coach. I'm slower than I look.
That's great. Well, what we're going to try to do, Frank, is make you a little faster.
Okay. Always wanted to be a plow horse.
Here we go. All right, set, go. That's it, Frank. I know it'll work. Good job.
You ever have one of those dreams where you're running, but you can't get away?
Ah, this is great. Every coach's dream, to control the media.
Well, to me, Frank, that kind of looked like Forrest Gump working out there. You know, run, Frank, run. You know,
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of like that.
Dana worked me over good.
That's right, yeah.
Dana's
Except he ran better than you, Forrest, I'm talking
Yeah, well,
about.
I figured that. But Dana's in his second year with you. He came in last year as a strength coach. By the way, he was great. We were going to give him a director's credit for that piece. He was really getting into it.
He's, in my opinion, he's a Cadillac of strength coaches. Was at Texas for 17 years, and we were able to convince him to come to Miami. So there's nobody better in the country than Dana LeDuc.
And I know you were smiling when you saw him working me over. You like to see that, don't you?
Yeah, I wish there were a couple other guys that we could get involved in that.
Yeah, you like me. You guys went easy on me.
There's some writers. I'd love to get into that thing.
All right, the first Big East game of the year comes up today, West Virginia at Rutgers. And actually, in interconference play last week, 0-3 aside from your game. But the Big East teams all played very well. Pitt gave Texas a good run. Syracuse lost by 1 to Oklahoma, another ranked team. and BC gave Michigan all they can handle.
Yeah, I thought that those 3 games were all good. I was able to watch the Syracuse game, and they should have won it. They got that 15-yard celebration penalty that killed them at the end, but which I thought was a dumb call, but that's the way it goes. But our league's going to be very competitive.
Yeah, that game broke my heart. You know, I'm a Syracuse grad. So.
I understand that. That's, I mean, really, it was too bad because they played well, came back at the end, and deserved to win the football game.
When we come back on the PCA Dennis Erickson Show, we'll wrap it up for this week, so stay with us.
Consideration provided by All Sports, featuring the world's largest selection of Hurricanes merchandise. All Sports, the #1 cane shop since 1969. Call 1-800-226-IBIS for your free catalog.
Welcome back here on the PCA Dennis Erickson Show. Well, as the Hurricanes get set to play the Arizona State Sun Devils tonight, Coach, obviously your defense was a key to that first game, and you want to dominate a game from the inside out. And Warren Sapp and Pat Riley got off to a great start in game 1, and that's the way you want to build your defense, from those defensive tackles and then use the speed on the outside to run down the ball.
Well, there's no question about it. All of our tackles played very well. Of course, Pat and Warren played extremely well. Kenny Holmes had an outstanding football game at defensive end, and our linebackers played really, really well. So, I mean, it was just a great overall effort. Our secondary played good, and if we can play defense like that all year, then we've got a chance to win it all, and that's the key. You can do what you want offensively, but if you can control everything on defense, and you got a chance to win every football game.
I want to mention one of the young guys, too, who got a lot of action, Kennard Lang, who had a couple of sacks, and he's a redshirt freshman with a load of potential.
Well, Kennard's got great potential, and he's going to play a lot. I mean, he's going to split time with Rusty and play probably a lot. Rusty will end up playing both sides right now until Baraka comes back, but Kennard Lang's got a great future ahead of him.
As far as quarterbacks are concerned, you inserted Ryan Collins in the second quarter and got him some action. You mentioned that might be your plan before the season started. Is that a pattern we might see continuing?
Well, you'll see it. It depends on what happens. We had planned on putting Ryan in the second quarter. This week, we're not sure what we're going to do. We'll see how Frank's doing. Frank played pretty well in that game and is really improving all the time. We'll just have to wait and see.
What about Frank? I mean, obviously, he comes off a season that was a disappointment for him, and you want to see him make the right reads and make the right decisions, and we know he's got the arm.
Well, he made good decisions in that football game. Again, the proof of the pudding as time goes on, but he's making better decisions. He's making better decisions in practice, and that's the key to his success, is making the right decisions. And I really think he's going to have a great year.
And we got to look at some of your young receivers last Saturday as well.
Well, you did, and Trenton Jones and Tosh Johnson, and of course, Chris Jones played extremely well, and the inside guys, Trenton Jones, Tony Gator, and Marcus Wimberly, and it's just a tremendous group. And then Jamie German healthy was nice to see, too.
Well, not much went wrong in week 1 for the Hurricanes. We'll see if that pattern continues in week 2. And, of course, we'll be back next week to talk about Miami and Arizona State right here on the PCA Dennis Erickson Show. Thanks for being with us, everybody.
Physician Corporation of America presents the Dennis Erickson Show. Is brought
Pac-10 set to do battle. We almost had a battle before we even lined up for the kickoff. We'll tell you that as we go. Arizona State won the toss. They will receive. The first matchup ever of Miami and Arizona State. And remember, Miami 0 for 3 on this playing surface. All 3 were Fiesta Bowl losses. Most recently, an embarrassment at the hands of Arizona, 29-0 in January. They want to get that taste out of their mouth here tonight. Hopkins on the return. Chris Hopkins is at the 40. Hopkins on the opening kick is across midfield. Well, Arizona State was fired up from the get-go from the time they came out of the tunnel. And when they came out of the tunnel, it was their gunner, Kendall Ryan, with the Arizona State flag held aloft, and look what he did with it once they broke through the sign.
Hey, Brad, are you ready for some football? Because both teams are saying the same thing. It's going to be physical, and they laid down the challenge. Drop the flag. They're ready to play.
They dropped the gauntlet. Miami took the challenge. They came off their sideline about that far, and that's when the officials got into the act. Now we're into the act offensively on the first play from scrimmage for Arizona State at the Miami 49. Hopkins, who had the 51-yard kick return, gets 3 more on his first carry of the night. Offensively for Arizona State, Hopkins will be the man they'll go to. A career high last week with Plummer, the quarterback, and Parnell Charles, the fullback. Clyde McCoy, a lot of pressure on him with Keith Poole, and Matt Nelson is the tight end. Juan Roque, all 312 pounds of him, the left guard. He'll be matched up all night long with Warren Sapp, Kaiser, March, Thompson, and Vaughn round out the starting front for the Sun Devils. Play action. Plummer's first throw. Going deep. Near sideline. Incomplete. Intended for Parnell Charles out of the backfield. 41-23, Tennessee has beaten Georgia. That is the final from between the hedges. So a key SEC matchup goes to the Volunteers. Ray Goff still looking for a win against Tennessee. And big numbers for Eric Zier in a losing cause. Here Arizona State comes up with a 3rd down and 7. This is their opening drive at the 46-yard line of Miami. 3 wide receiver offense for Jake the Snake Plummer. Across the middle and a great catch inside the 35. Keith Poole to the 31. First down, Sun Devils.
I'll tell you, Brad, Jake Plummer is a rising star in college football. Sophomore quarterback, played as a true freshman, and he could get rid of that ball from his hip to the receiver fast as any quarterback I've seen since I've been doing this. Reminds me of a good thrower that we saw, guy that won the Heisman Trophy for Brigham Young, Ty Detmer, the way he could get rid of the ball. I mean, this guy's got a stronger arm than Detmer.
One cool customer for a 19-year-old is Jake Plummer. First down of the 31 on the counter, and an opening for Terry Battle. Arizona State, a very young squad. 42 players had never been in a college game before last week, and Bruce Snyder now in his 3rd season. Gary, that was the year when he was in California, his 3rd season, that he started to turn it around. He's hoping to do that here.
Well, he's got, I think, the program sold to his players. They believe in what he's telling them. They know that they have to play physical football. They're not going to back down to Miami.
2nd down, short yardage, 2 to go, fumble. The Hurricanes say they have it, and indeed they do. And it might be Warren Sapp on the bottom of that pile, the preseason All-American.
That's exactly who it is. Boy, the simplest things when you try to run against a team that's #1 in the country, a big game, you come in, watch this, lose the snap, pulls out just a little bit too early, and when those linemen are crossing on one of those counter plays, Jake Plummer's never going to get back to that ball. Defense always has the advantage on the fumbled snap.
At the 24-yard line, Frank Costa will bring up the Hurricanes offense. James Stewart, the single setback. Play action for Costa on first down. Rifles it, it's in and out of the hands of the receiver, and it's intercepted. It's Tremaine Johnson. Turnover for turnover. The Sun Devils have it back.
Well, we didn't even get a chance to get all the lineups in, Brad. We've had a lot of excitement in this football game already. I'll tell you, this is a poor throw. Good protection. Costa does not throw a good ball, and this is a simple hook, 15 down. Jamie German is the receiver he's going to go to. A little play action pass, no one in his face, just throws the ball high. That's a tough catch. German was coming inside, the ball was thrown behind him, and Tremaine Johnson gets a free gift interception. I mean, you can expect receivers to make catches like that, but it's a tough one to start off the game with.
At the 22-yard line, first the Sapp fumble recovery, now Johnson's interception has given it back to the Sun Devil offense, and they're a little bit...
I don't think they have enough guys.
That could be it. There's a problem. They're going to have to take a timeout. We'll take one as well. First quarter, a lot of fireworks early and no score.
This time around, you can fly without wings. You can reach the heights, soar in the endless night. This time around, you can fall without fear. because everything's possible. This time around.
Fresh beer has a lot of enemies. One of those is heat. That's why we insist that every Coors distributor has a refrigerated warehouse. Another enemy is time. So we put a date on every package to help us ensure the beer you buy meets.
Built around a young quarterback, 19-year-old Jake Plummer.
Well, we saw him already. He's a young sophomore, played as a true freshman. He's got all the tools, the great feet, a great arm, but he's so mentally tough, and he wants to play in this football game right here. One of the reasons he came to Arizona State, to play in Miami.
He's got the chance, and he's got a first down after the interception at the 22-yard line. Great play fake with some pressure, fires complete down to the 15 to Matt Nelson, the tight end. And that'll be a pickup of 7. It'll be second down and 3.
One of the things you have to do when you've got a mobile quarterback is get him out of the pocket. They're going to have a tough time. Arizona State is blocking the tackles for Miami, so use what your quarterback does well. And Jake Plummer handles throwing on the run real effectively. He wants to get the ball in and out of his hands quickly.
Chris Hopkins, who had that great kick return to open the game, a stinger right now, has kept him out of the lineup. And with that, it'll be Terry Battle in the backfield for him. But he'll be back in the game, they tell us. ESPN's presentation of college football is brought to you by Isuzu, makers of incredible four-wheel drives. And by the Die Hard battery, now with more power when you need it most.
I tell you, Chris Hopkins is a man Arizona State cannot afford to lose in this football game. He's a tremendous leader with the football. He really gets the people involved in the football game when he carries the ball.
Third down, 6. Key play if they're to keep the drive alive, and he overshot his intended receiver, Clyde McCoy. And Jake the Snake has to pick himself off the Sun Devil Stadium turf for the first time.
That's the big question I have for Arizona State's offense in this game, Brad, is are the receivers for Arizona State quick enough to get open in man-to-man coverage against the Miami defense when they blitz? Miami has blitzed in 2 key situations. Arizona State has not got anybody open.
Arizona State will try to get on the board with a field goal. Plummer will hold for John Baker. He'll try one from 35 yards out. Baker had 3 field goals successful a week ago in the opener. His opening kick tonight is a rocket right through the middle. So the Sun Devils would have preferred 7, but Coach Snyder says we'll take the 3. So Bruce Snyder's team on the board. Dennis Erickson's club will be receiving the kickoff. 9-3 last year, Gary, but in 6 seasons at Miami, in the last 5 years, you see the winningest coach in football, and yet he's getting grief about a 9-3 campaign last year.
Well, Brad, there's no doubt that the mystique for the Miami football program might have ended in that Alabama game a couple years ago when George Teague stole that fumble, and that changed it around. People think they can play with Miami right now, but he's taken that Fiesta Bowl loss and turned it into an opportunity. This is a much more disciplined football team than we're used to at Miami, and they, at the Friday practice yesterday, Erickson's in charge.
Yeah, it was all business yesterday. None of that goofing around from yesteryear. A new attitude with Miami. And with that, Gary, I think maybe on the field what we'll see is a little bit different.
Well, I think there's going to be a new emphasis. I mean, before this team was built around the quarterback and the wide receivers. Now, James Stewart, they've got a running back that's got the whole package. 6'3", 230, runs a 4.3 40. They've got the great wide receivers that could emerge, and Costa could do the job at quarterback, but they've got a guy at the running back position that can win games for them.
So 3-0 Sun Devils. And Baker will tee it up to kick away to Jamie German and Alfred Shipman.
Brad, I thought another key to this game is that Costa got off smoothly in this football game and got his teammates behind him and surrounded. He got off with an interception. That doesn't bode well.
High kick. German will run up on it at the 7-yard line. Almost lost his footing. Got it out near the 28. Let's go down to the third man in our broadcast crew, Adrian Karsten.
Well, Brad, we're about to break out the rain gear down here where it's been 110, 112 for the past couple of days. At kickoff, the forecast was for 40, 45-mile-per-hour winds and torrential rain. Now, I talked to the head groundskeeper. The turf that's only about half an inch thick here is sandy underneath and can take 1.5 inches of rain per hour as far as the drainage system is concerned. Beginning to get a little slick down here now. I talked to both head coaches. They say for now, they're going to stick with their game plan.
And Miami's game plan will start the second time at the 30-yard line with 3 wideouts to the left side for Costa. Fires that way. Complete across the 40 and a first down out near the 46-yard line to Chris T. Jones. Offensively for Miami, we talked about Frank Costa. He has got to be the man. 5 starts last year before he gave up the job to Ryan Collins. James Stewart's that big back Gary talked about. Chris T. Jones, who just made the catch, is one of the tri-captains with Harris, German, and Daphnis is the tight end. And up front, Casey Jones, not the biggest, but maybe the most talented, with Simonette, Green, Lemelski, and Perry. And it's a first down at the 46-yard line for Miami. The give to Stewart. And he's all wrapped up in the backfield by Dan Lucas. The Arizona State defense up front, led by Sean Sueda. 10 tackles and a sack in the opener last week with Bernstein, Valiant, and Schmidt. The gunner back, you saw him come out with a flag. He's a glorified outside linebacker, plays a lot of different spots with Kyle and Lucas. And Trayvon Johnson, heavy pressure on him with Craig Newsome, who was a preseason All-American, not in the lineup due to academics, and Trayvon's already answered the call with an interception tonight. He's back there with Soward, Cade, and Rashada. Collins, or rather Costa goes down right about at the line of scrimmage, and it's going to be 3rd down and long.
Brad, whenever you're facing a physical football team like Miami is trying to sell, your football team has to match it. Defensive coordinator Kent Baer told us yesterday the #1 goal, not X's and O's, blitzes, man-to-man zone. We have to out-hit Miami. We have to set the tempo and be a physical defensive football team.
I think they've done that so far in this drive for Miami, forcing a 3rd down and 12.
5 wide receivers in for Miami. No tight ends, no running back.
From the gun. Costa on the wide receiver screen. Gone. German into the secondary, and Jamie German, Gary's right, is gone. Touchdown, Miami. 56 yards.
Brad, Arizona State had a definite matchup problem on that one. They had linebackers trying to find wide receivers. And Baer was not aware that they brought in 5 wide receivers. Stewart left the game late, and he just threw a simple wide receiver screen from the receiver coming from the left side of your screen. You're going to see him hit James. Didn't even throw it past the line of scrimmage. Downfield blocks by Leminski, and he's gone. When Jermaine gets the ball, no one's going to catch him in the secondary.
Extra point. Threw it in. And just that quickly, Miami with a lead, but not with the extra point. The big play man, Jamie German, 56-yard touchdown catch on this wide receiver screen, and nobody was going to catch him. 6-3 Hurricane.
Taking a look at the weather, we've got a high-pressured system
sitting right here,
and that is bringing us nothing but beautiful clear skies and oh, Mr. Sunshine.
Is it just us, or are weathermen really only guessing?
But hold on.
It's gonna get better.
Clear as a bell.
Not a cloud in the sky.
Soaring.
Dry.
That's why we make the Isuzu Trooper, because life's an adventure. Be prepared.
My prediction, it's gonna rain. Trust me.
Isuzu, practically amazing.
Racing legend Richard Petty gave us an incredible challenge to try and start his toys.
All my toys.
All at once with a single Die-Hard. So we hooked up all 9 engines, and the Die-Hard started every one.
All at the same time.
But would it still have the power to start this big toy? Sears Die-Hard. More power when you need it most.
Get it moving.
Keep on, keep on moving. Oh, yeah. Come on. Sing it, sing it. Yeah.
And the Silver Bullet has the taste to keep it moving.
Come on.
Coors Light.
Oh, yeah.
Naturally brewed for a taste that goes down easy.
Sing it, sing it.
Coors Light. Keep on moving.
The quick strike to Jamie German, and something maybe they didn't have enough of last year, Gary.
Well, Brad, when we spoke to Dennis Erickson yesterday, he said teams will not be able to play 8-man fronts up with us this year and just bump and run our wide receivers. We've got healthy wide receivers. He said Jamie German is healthy this year, and he's a Kevin Williams-type breakaway player. He showed it on that one, didn't he?
He sure did.
You know, it's nice you throw those 1-yard passes and get all that yardage on it.
German turned it into the longest catch of his career. Soward and Hopkins await the kick. Hopkins this time from the 6. Oh, boy, did he come shot. The ball's loose, and a flag flies in as well. Tremendous hit.
I think it was C.J. Richardson that made the hit.
And the football is Miami's as well. But wait for the penalty. Pat Flood's our referee in a Pac-10 crew.
Holding on the receiving team. Declined. Pushed down this way.
So another golden opportunity now for Miami.
Starting safety coming from the right side of your screen, C.J. Richardson just puts his helmet right on the football. I think Pruitt got the football for Miami, but that's a hit right on the ball coming in at full speed, and you see the senior safety make a great play on that. Again, another turnover, and this is going to be tough on this Arizona State defense.
It's taken the crowd out of it. You can tell it's taken it out of the Arizona State team to a degree, and now a first down at the 18-yard line for Miami. 10 minutes to go, first quarter, 6-3. Jamie German on a 56-yard touchdown pass from Frank Costa.
Brad, when you went through the lineup for the Arizona State defense, you talked about a gunner and a patriot. I mean, there was a lot of different people. One of them is an outside linebacker combination corner. Now, I haven't heard that in a problem. When you run 3 wide receivers, you got a guy that plays outside linebacker and has to cover a receiver. I think that's a mismatch.
Yeah. We have not seen much of Stewart so far tonight. Costa will throw here as well. Goes outside, complete to Jones, trying to break a tackle. And he picked up about 5. Let's go to Mike Tirico. Mike.
Brad, Adrian was talking about the rain. It's raining heavily 2 hours south down I-10 in Tucson, where Arizona already up 7-0 on 4th down gets Antoine Carter to punch it in. And Arizona leads New Mexico State by 14, still in the first.
Of course, it was Arizona that throttled Miami in the Fiesta Bowl, shut them out 29-0 back in January. Miami putting that behind them for this matchup with the Sun Devils. On 2nd and 5, Stewart blasts his way inside the 10. He's close to a first down. He should be about a half-yard shy. Stewart, 245-pounder. And he is legitimately fast.
You know, Brad, when they were bringing the guys over to talk to us yesterday and introduce a few of the players, I said, is this a defensive tackle? No, James Stewart, their running back, tailback. You know, he's just an unbelievable player. He can run. You were kidding him about anybody could have catch him in the secondary.
Yeah, he said, I run 4-3. I said, come on. He said, hey, I'll prove it. I said, well, if you get in the secondary, don't let anybody run you down from behind. He said, no chance. 3rd and 1. He'll go left side this time. And he will score. Touchdown, Stewart. Fast and powerful.
When he gets his head and shoulder turned upfield, James Stewart is tough to bring down. Lee Cole, number 2, the gunner, has a chance to arm tackle him. He runs right through that. A.C. Tellison does a nice job of getting his corner. Man-to-man coverage. Tellison stays in front of him. That's all you got to do is just stay in front of him. When you got a running back that could break tackles, just get in the way of the defensive back. You don't have to knock anybody down. James Stewart will take it in the end zone. Miami's going to go for 2.
Having missed the extra point on the previous touchdown, they want to go for 2, but Frank Costa is not sure exactly what the Miami coaches want, and he's going to talk it over with them.
Again, Miami had a look. 5 wide receivers in the game. No running backs, no tight ends.
Let's go to Adrian Karsten.
Brad, I've just come from behind the ASU bench. You know, not only are every one of the players wearing this one-at-a-time T-shirt under their jerseys, but they're all saying it across the field right now. One at a time. Now, I know it sounds like a cliche, but our meetings with Bruce Snyder the other day, it really is a philosophy, and every one of these guys believe it. He says there's going to be a downtime in every single game as much as there is in life, and you got to pick yourself back up. Right now they're saying one at a time, one play at a time, 1 yard at a time if necessary, but that's the way they'll get back into this game.
They'd like to come up with stopping a two-point conversion this time.
Well, Brad, it's more important in a time of critical injury, a big play like Miami just hit right there, that they have to come through and trust their philosophy. Right now, everybody's believing that, hey, this is still a long football game. Let's just stay in the game and play hard, and good things will happen in the long run.
So much emotion after that opening kick, and then so much emotion after Johnson's interception set up their field goal. But Miami with a quick strike, and then covering a fumble of their own on the fumble on the kick return by the Sun Devils. And with Stewart's touchdown, they go for 2, leading 12-3, and try to make it a 14-3 lead. Costa from the shotgun with a 5-wide receiver group. Goes far side. There was a collision in the end zone. No marker down on a pass that was intended for Chris T. Jones. Well, Ron Johnson broke it up.
Well, he had Chris T. Jones. He ran into Marcus Soward, who was really covering somebody else on that play, and it was very fortunate because they would have had Jones in the back of the end zone wide open.
ESPN is your home every Saturday for the best in college football. All begins at 11:30 a.m. with College Game Day. Chris Fowler, Lee Corso, and Craig James preview the entire day. Then at 12:30, it's off to Columbus, Ohio, as the Pitt Panthers battle 16th-ranked Ohio State. That's followed at 3:30 by the Football Scoreboard Show. And then at 6:30, a huge CFA doubleheader next week for you. Florida taking on Tennessee. Tennessee coming off their resounding win over Georgia. And then at 9:30, we'll be in Boulder for Wisconsin and Colorado. What a lineup next week. And what great games today. The Michigan-Notre Dame game, the Northwestern-Stanford game, all the fireworks of Tennessee and Georgia that we had right before us.
How about Penn State handing it to Southern Cal?
Oh, I guess.
They look good.
Soward and Johnson are back deep as Hopkins has come out from his kick return duties.
I'll tell you what's critical now for Arizona State. They need to come out and make a couple first downs. You know, they're shocked a little bit. They just got to have something good happen for them.
To be Johnson from the 1-yard line. Boy.
Fumbled it again.
Fumble again covered by Miami. And again, it's C.J. underneath. Richardson's got his second fumble recovery on a kick return.
I'll tell you, C.J. Richardson, when you do good the first time, you get isolated the second time. This time we got C.J. Richardson coming down. He's just flying down the field. He's just going to submarine or dive over. I saw him come in there, a dive over the top by Johnson, and boy, that ball comes out before he hits the ground, and we talked about it. You do something good, and something good happens to you.
At the 10-yard line, or just outside the 10. They can actually get a first down at about the 1-foot line. Costa. Catch made by Jones. Touchdown. Jones fought off the would-be tackler and scores.
Brad, again, talking about what we did with Erickson yesterday. What he said is our receivers this year have to make plays. People line up in overloaded type defenses. We have to throw the ball out to them, play pitch and catch, and let them do something with the ball. What an effort. Stretches out, takes it over for the touchdown.
This time Pruitt's got it up and good. And 12 seconds after one touchdown, it's another. This time for Jones. And it's 19-3 Miami. Johnson on the sideline, who fumbled the last kick return for Arizona State. Miami made a touchdown one play later. It's been Richardson with 2 fumble recoveries on kick coverage. And in a matter, Gary, of about 2.5 minutes, it's gone from 2.5 minutes on the clock, that is. It's gone from a lead for Arizona State to 19-3 for Miami.
How would you like to be on the Arizona State offense? The last time you're on the field, you had a lead. Now you're big time behind.
Terry Battle and Marcus Soward now will go back as Arizona State continues to shuffle a bit with their kick returners.
I don't know if I've ever seen a kickoff coverage team turn around a game so fast like this before.
They get down the field in a hurry. This time from the 3 is Battle. Battle found himself a little opening. Now a big opening. Terry Battle to the 46-yard line. It's either feast or famine on these things.
I'll tell you. We've had 2 over the 50-yard line returns, and we've had 2 fumbles so far on the kickoff. And they've hit the same spot every time. They have not changed their return at all. They just blocked a few people this time. Battle takes it up, makes one person miss, and he's out to the races. Again, great field position. Shipman does a good job of just buying time until some of the speed people can come and help him save it from putting points on the board.
Terry Battle, a true freshman from San Diego, has set up the Arizona State offense just outside the 45 of Miami. Swing it out to the fullback, Ryan Wood. Wood made something out of it, got about 4 yards. It'll be 2nd and 6.
Well, Arizona State, 3 turnovers already in this football game. When you're an underdog going into a football game, no matter what kind of game plan you have, you're not going to beat, you can't beat Georgia Southern, let alone Maryland, let alone Miami, excuse me, when you're trying to do the turnovers this early in the football game.
2nd and 6. A big opening for the other fullback, Parnell Charles. Charles actually playing tailback now with Hopkins having been shaken up. They said they would do that if there was an injury, and that is the case for Parnell. Goes for a first down.
One of the keys to running the ball against Miami is to run the ball right up the gut. You see Lewis get blocked by the fullback, just an isolation play, running the ball between the tackles. Tough to run wide on the Miami defense.
Again, Hopkins suffering with a stinger, and with that, it's Charles who takes over as the tailback, and he got about 3 before Malcolm Pearson came up from the secondary to make the hit. Arizona State has got some serious beef on the left side of their line, Gary, where they've got 320 in Jeff Kaiser and 312 in Juan Roque.
Have you ever seen, and height too, I mean,
yeah.
They're 6'7", 6'8". They're matched up with some good football players, but that's the strength of the offensive line, is the left side.
Roque has been moved inside to guard. He'll move back outside to tackle when Kaiser graduates this year. They're quite a pair on that left side of the line, and that's where Plummer's going to scramble with it. And Jake Plummer's got a first down. And now Arizona State settling in a little bit.
Does he have great feet, great awareness? We talked to all the Henton, their quarterback coach, Dan Cozzetto, their offensive coordinator. He said, we want Jake to have a mental clock. 2.3 to 2.5 seconds. We want that ball out of his hands. He just has to be aware of it. We don't want to throw the ball down the field. He wants to get up, get it out of his hands. Incompletion is not a bad play.
When you meet him, he's a very unassuming kid. And I mean kid, 19 years old. He turned in December. He started the final 6 games last year. And Arizona State went 4-2 over that stretch at the end of last season and came in here, and he's one of the leaders, even though he's only 19. And there's reasons for that, too. He, as you see his numbers last year, first one to every off-season conditioning workout.
A mentally tough person, not just a football player, a mentally tough person. Bill Snyder said it's tough to go through our off-season program. He let it. He just didn't survive.
Second down along 7. At the 16-yard line. Banging off the right side, inside the 15 is Charles. It will bring up 3rd down and long. Warren Sapp in on the tackle. So all the injuries that Arizona State has had in the preseason and up through last week, and now they're forced to basically run 2 fullbacks in their offense. We approach 5 minutes, first quarter, 19-3 Miami. 3 wide out group. for Jake Plummer and the Arizona State offense. Going to swing it out. It's hit and knocked away. And Kenny Holmes, the defensive end, got in to get a hand on it.
Kenny Holmes, 6'4", 240. It was a screen pass to the outside, so the tackle, Demario Vaughn, turned Holmes loose, but Holmes got his hand up just in time to save a pretty good-looking play that time.
So a field goal attempt upcoming from John Baker. Right in the middle of the field from about 32 yards out. And again, Plummer will hold. Baker last year, 18 of 26. He hit 3 a week ago, and he has a 35-yarder so far tonight. This one from 32, and he pushed it to the left.
Yeah, they're going to get roughing the kicker, though.
Penalty down. So they'd rather have the missed kick.
That's Carlos Jones. It came in from the corner.
Take the penalty. Unless it's running into, but if it's roughing the kicker, it's a
5-yard penalty, running into the kicker.
Now it's decision time, Gary, because it's going to be about 4th down and about 1 now.
You'll see Jones coming in around right over this way. He's going to run into the kicker. He hooks it around the corner, but as he lays out, he runs right into the back of his leg. 4th and a half yard. You know, this is the type of play I think you have to go for it. You're playing Miami. You're down 19-3 here. You got to go for it. You don't get many opportunities like this. Now, that's easy to say, go for it. Now, what do you go with? Little type of a rollout pass where you have the ball in the quarterback's hands, or do you run right at him?
At the 9-yard line.
I say it's a pass.
Wood and Charles behind Plummer. It is play action. And in and out of the hands of the intended receiver, Wood.
Jake Plummer could have ran for that first down also. He had Wood wide open, but with the changes, Plummer is a much better receiving fullback than Wood. So Parnell Charles is now at tailback, so now you have your backup fullback in there, the ball slightly thrown high, and you see Wood fought that throw all the way.
Miami takes over at its own 9-yard line. A 19-3 lead. 4:58 left first quarter. And so far, Arizona State has not been able to slow down the Miami offense.
I think their offense has to feel good about moving the ball, but defensively, they have not slowed them down. You're right, Brian.
The shifting front of the Arizona State defense. Costa play action. Throws it. It's going to be intentional grounding from the end zone. He's leveled.
That's a safety.
Mike Landridge, and it is a safety.
That is a definite safety. Intentional grounding from the end zone.
Intentional grounding on the offense results in a safety.
Put up 2 for Arizona State with a great rush from Landridge.
You're going to see Landridge come right in here and get in Costa's face. That's what causes the play right here. Landridge comes in, beats it inside. Now Costa gets into the end zone right there, trying to make a play happen. That's one any quarterback could make that mistake on. Nice play by Landridge coming inside on the play action pass. And when you're playing an attack defense like Arizona State is, they're playing the run on the way to the passer.
So Costa has made 2 mistakes tonight and has paid dearly for both of them. One an interception, that one cost him points with the safety.
I really believe if Arizona State could get this game tight, and a lot of the pressure would go back on Costa, he still has to show this football team that he can handle pressure in a tight football game.
See some scores involving Pac-10 teams. Washington with a big win over Ohio State. Washington State big on Fresno State. Oregon State, a team that Arizona State beat a week ago in their opener. Out big on Wyoming.
Weird game so far, huh? 19-5.
Very weird.
You got kickoffs that go all the way, or they fumble it. And
so the free kick upcoming. Let's see who Arizona State's got back this time. They've changed it several times. It's going to be Soward and Battle again. And Pruitt to kick one from the 20. If they get the kind of kick return they've gotten twice tonight, off this short kick. They'll be in great shape as far as field position. High kick. Soward's got a hustle. Picks it off his shoelaces and is going to go down about where he caught it at the 30-yard line, but he does hold on to it, and a flag flies in late to the fray. And maybe Miami was a bit overzealous on their kick coverage that time. Let's find out.
I think Twan Russell is the guy that came down there first, but I don't know if somebody came in late.
Pat Flood will let us know.
5-yard face mask on the kicking team. From the end of the run, first down.
Well, that will move it out near the 37-yard line. So it's pretty good field position. And now if Arizona State, again, Gary, can just get calmed down and get into their offensive rhythm and get points out of this drive, they'd be back in the game. At one point, it looked deadly for them, down 19-3.
Well, I think there's a little bit of pressure on the Arizona State offense now because they know they're going to have to score a lot of points to beat this Miami team. I don't think they feel confident that their defense is going to be able to shut them down.
Might be an end around. Brower can throw. He used to be a quarterback and does. Deep ball. Intercepted. Picked off by Pearson.
I'll tell you, Malcolm Pearson makes about a 35-yard run on this play. Clyde McCoy ran into the defender. He would have been open by about 20 yards on the play, but he runs into his guy, and then Pearson just goes across the field to make the play.
Troy Rauer was a quarterback as a freshman. He's going to be the guy coming on the end around. Triple coverage is the bad news on the other end.
End of the play, you see Pearson go high for the ball and make the play. What a run for a well-thrown ball, really, by Malcolm Pearson.
At the 26-yard line. 4th Arizona State turnover. 3 wide out set for Miami. And Stewart's all wrapped up again. This time Jason Kyle the first to meet him.
Brad, let me show you where Malcolm Pearson came for on this play. In the play action pass, it's going to go one way, faking it to the left. If you can stop it right here. Here's Malcolm Pearson right up at the top of your screen right there. He makes a run clear to the other sideline to intercept this ball when it's in the air. That is great coverage and reaction by your safety on a play that could have been a big play for Arizona State.
It almost looked like if Rauer could have pulled the trigger 1/2 step quicker, I don't think Pearson would have gotten there, and it might have been a long gainer. Dan Lucas just went out, the inside linebacker, a junior, one of the leaders of the Arizona State defense, was just carried off the field to the Sun Devil sideline. 2nd down and 12 as Stewart was wrapped up for a 2-yard loss. Again, that 8 front. Costa's going to throw the quick one and incomplete, intended for Derek Harris, his tight end. Let's go to Adrian.
Information I just picked up behind the Sun Devil defensive bench. Mike Landridge, who forced that safety a few minutes ago down here in this end zone, is a member of what they call the shock troop, a defensive front 4 that Kent Baer, the defensive coordinator, will send in like every 3rd series. The whole point is to keep pressure on Costa. They're doing a heck of a job of it up front right now.
Are they ever? Kent Baer likes those fresh troops in there. We'll see if he can chase down Costa on 3rd and 12. Costa with plenty of time. Deep sideline. Oh, if that's a catch, it's a great one, and it is. At the 41-yard line.
I'll tell you, Frank Costa took one right in between the 1 and the 1 when he threw this ball. What a throw to the sideline. Blitz on again for Arizona State. Here you see the wide receiver. Chris Jones right to the outside.
Now we know what the T in Chris T. Jones stands for.
Tight.
Tippy toes.
Tippy toes?
Great catch.
What a throw by Costa. I tell you, he has great feet.
There's the senior Chris T. Jones, one of 3 captains, permanent captains on this Miami team. That's something that this club has not had in many, many years. First down at the 41. Costa pump fakes and goes down. Let's go to Mike Tirico. Mike.
Back down in Tucson, Antoine Carter, who struggled with fumbles in our Georgia Tech-Arizona game back about 9 days ago, not struggling tonight. Big run here, 48 yards. Carter is over 100 yards. It set up a Steve McLaughlin 50-yard field goal. Arizona by 17.
Here, Arizona State down by 14 to the Hurricanes of Miami with 3:14 left first quarter. As Gary said, it's been a strange one so far, but a lot of fireworks and a lot of big plays. 5 wideouts for Costa from the gun. Deep middle, overshot his man, almost picked off. And again, Landridge was coming with the pressure. Jonathan Harris, the intended receiver. Landridge has been steamrolling in there over the right side of the Hurricanes' offensive front.
Might be the second time I've seen Arizona State get into a zone defense that time. And Kendall Ryan, the gunner, strong safety type player, if you will, did a great chuck on that play to take away the receiver, Jonathan Harris.
Third down at 16. Miami's perfect in the third down conversions. They'll have to earn all of this one. Costa with time, delivers it in and out of the hands, incomplete, no fumble. It would have been a first down, but A.C. Tellison really got popped.
I'll tell you, big time hit that time from the secondary. Thomas Simmons, as the ball was in the air, came up and laid it on him. That ball would have been hurt. Thomas Simmons, just a freshman. He's the safety on the bottom right-hand side of your screen. He reads the quarterback's eyes, gets there just after the ball gets there, and puts his helmet right, shoulder pads right into the back, and the ball pops loose.
I think he hurt his shoulder too, Gary. Simmons went off, and it seemed his right arm was hanging. Terrible snap into the end zone. This is going to be no chance. It's already out. Safety time. They've had problems with their long snapping unit. Tonight, the long snapper, Tremaine Mack, they had problems a week ago and had a snap much like that. This one almost went into the crowd. Another safety, Arizona State.
Well, we've had two two-run home runs already here. 2 safeties in the first quarter. I mean, there was a lot of power on that snap, and it was just maybe 8 yards too high. Tremaine Mack, the long snapper for Miami, he threw a bullet. It was just a bit high.
Wrong caliber.
Watch this thing. Holy cow. I mean,
Wow.
how many times did you snap one 40 yards?
And you can see that one goes all the way out of the back of the end zone on its own. 2 more points, Arizona State.
And we have another kickoff.
We got another free kick coming up from the 20, folks, and now it's 19-7. We're getting closer to have a normal score. You don't get 7 that way any other time, I don't think.
That's right. 3, 2, and 2.
A little bit of everything so far today. Well, we'll have some action coming up tomorrow. IndyCar racing comes your way tomorrow at 1:30 with the Texaco Haviland 200 from Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. Al Unser Jr. goes for his 9th win of the season, which would break the record set by Michael Andretti back in '91. That's the Texaco Haviland 200, 1:30 tomorrow, right here on ESPN. And Al has got the pole for that race, so he could add to his already impressive list of victories.
Man, you follow it all.
I try, Gary. I don't know if I can follow this game through 4 quarters the way it's going. Here comes a kick from Pruitt. Running up on it, Terry Battle. And Battle goes out near the 38-yard line. Well, back comes the Sun Devils offense. Jake Plummer.
The nickname, the Snake.
We asked him who he looked up to as quarterbacks in the NFL, as so many young guys do. I think everybody always does. And he mentioned Randall Cunningham.
Yeah, that surprised me, because he doesn't have that stature, but he likes the way he plays and attacks the game.
He said you got to love Joe Montana. On a counter and a nice opening across the 40 and out for about 8 yards goes Parnell Charles. And then he also said, as he looked at you, I even like some of those old quarterbacks, like Kenny Stabler. But he said there's one problem with him.
He took my nickname.
You got to love the spunk in a kid that says Kenny Stabler took my nickname.
And he really is the leader of this football team. Watching him in practice out here, all the guys like him. He's kidding everybody, having a lot of fun. Had the ball hat on yesterday, and we're just having a riot.
Got the nickname at age 7 from his brothers Eric and Brett. And they don't pick up the first down. It's going to be 3rd down and all of 2 again.
Kenny Holmes so far in this game, making his presence felt. And again, you try to run the ball wide against Miami. That's playing right into their hands. The key to attack in this defense is getting that middle linebacker block. Now, that's easy to say, tough to do. Arizona State told me that they were going to block him with the center, with the fullback, and the tackles, occasionally swiping down on him on counters.
Everybody packed inside on 3rd and 2. Charles cuts outside for that tremendous speed of Miami's. I think he got the first down.
Yeah, I'll tell you, Ray Lewis, the middle linebacker that time, did exactly what the middle linebacker's supposed to do. Read that flow and run to it. Charles going to the outside. There's the middle linebacker reading the action. Now watch him turn it on. There's a middle linebacker that can run. A lot of action. Guards crossing one way. Has to stay. Look, no lineman can get on the middle linebacker. That's the job that the defensive tackles have to do. Credit the defensive tackles, Riley and Sapp.
Lewis, the first true freshman to start for Miami during the Dennis Erickson era. Did that last year. Jake Plummer overthrows Clyde McCoy, who had a couple steps back there.
And one of the tough things I think is going to happen for Jake Plummer in this game is he's just so jacked to play the football game. That ball, right now it is. He's just got to get his hair about him, get into the football game, and get a little bit more relaxed.
Johnny Thomas, the leading speed receiver for Arizona State, is academically ineligible. And so that puts the pressure on McCoy, who that pass was intended for. Here's Charles. And he bangs his way out for 5. Lewis again in on the tackle. Parnell Charles, a senior out of St. Paul, Minnesota.
Arizona State continues to stick to their game plan, running a lot of isolation plays right at the middle linebacker and a little bit of a play action. And I think Dan Cassetta, the offensive coordinator, told me is we have to run the ball because part of our game is a play action pass.
3rd down and 5 from the 45 of Miami. Quick count. Plummer has to throw in a hurry. Across the middle. Wood, did he have it? No. In and out of his hands. Incomplete. And let's go to Adrian Karsten.
Brad, what Gary just said about running inside, that's exactly what they're trying to do. I just looked over the shoulders of the ASU offense, and they're diagramming a lot of counter trey plays coming up the field now. Also, maybe a couple of 2 tight end sets. What they're trying to do is spread that Miami defense out and then hit them back up inside.
Punting situation for Arizona State. Lance Anderson in to kick. Jamie German is back deep. Hit it a mile in the air. German's going to have to call for a fair catch. Takes it about the 12-yard line. You know, we talked about Johnny Thomas being out, academic problems. Here's a list of some of the people that would normally be on this club. Craig Newsom's an All-American, preseason All-American candidate in the defensive secondary. He should be back in a couple of weeks. But you look down that list, and it has taken its toll. Justin Dragul would be a starting linebacker.
And the other thing is, this is not just guys that were players. These were guys that were the best at each one of their positions. Linebacker, wide receiver, defensive back. And that's tough on a football team.
And we didn't even list guys that have gone on to the next level. Mario Bates would have been their starting tailback. He was a second-round draft choice of the Saints. And Shante Carver, the all-time sack leader here at Arizona State, is, of course, the #1 draft choice of the Dallas Cowboys. So you mix all that into the pot, you can see why Bruce Snyder's hair's a little messed up on the sideline. Larry Jones in as a single setback in the Miami offense. Just outside their own 12-yard line. And Larry's going to get the call. And he weaves his way through across the 15 to the 16-yard line. And we'll go to our buddy Mike Tirico.
Brad, tough back-to-back for New Mexico State. After Florida lights them up for 70, it's to Arizona. And Antoine Carter, his 2nd touchdown. He's now 3rd on the all-time Arizona rushing list behind David Adams. The lead is 24.
The way he's running, he'll be #1 on the list before the night's over. We're down to the final seconds of what has been a strange but action-packed first quarter from Sun Devil Stadium in Tempe, Arizona. And the hometown Sun Devils on the short end, but hanging in with the 6th-ranked Hurricanes of Miami.
I know what you're feeling.
Now, the world's most advanced long-distance network, AT&T, brings you the most lifelike sound quality ever. It's AT&T True Voice. Listen to the difference. And go. It's a breakthrough in digital voice reproduction, and it's part of your basic service, just because you are with AT&T.
Get it moving.
Keep on moving. Keep on moving.
And the Silver Bullet has the taste to keep it moving. Coors Light. Naturally brewed for a taste that goes down easy. Coors Light. Keep on moving.
Taking a look at the weather, we've got a high-pressure system.
Sitting right here.
And that is bringing us nothing but clear skies and old Mr. Sunshine.
Is it just us, or are weathermen really only guessing?
But hold on.
It's gonna get better.
Clear as a bell. Not a cloud in the sky.
That's why we make the Isuzu Trooper, because life's an adventure. Be prepared.
My prediction, it's gonna rain. Trust me.
Isuzu, practically amazing.
Monroe Sensatrack, road sensing shocks and struts. Designed to give you extra control during a swerve. Extra control over rough roads. Monroe Sensatrack gives you both extra control and ride comfort automatically. Monroe Sensatrack, like 2 shocks in 1. Call 1-800-STRUT now for a Monroe Sensatrack dealer near you.
While the instant replay took second guessing out of football, the new Starrett Digitape takes the guesswork out of measuring. It's the world's first full-function electronic tape that instantly displays feet and inches and centimeters, and automatically adds its case length to an inside measurement. It works as a rugged standard tape, too. It'll even memorize your measurement. The new Starrett Digitape. Measuring ain't what it used to be.
At hardware stores and industrial supply outlets.
With Gary Danielson and Adrian Carson, I'm Brad Nessler at Sun Devil Stadium in Tempe, Arizona. What has turned out to be a nice night after some showers and their monsoon winds that tend to blow in here about 7:30 every night, at least every night we're out here. We start the second quarter, 19-7, the Hurricanes. Costa will throw on first down. Jones again, the man on the other end, and he is close to a first down with that catch. It was a strange first quarter. The field goal by Baker gave Arizona State the lead, but then Jamie German came back 56 yards in a hurry. They missed the extra point. It was 6-3. Then James Stewart banged his way in. They missed the 2-point conversion. And then a 10-yard touchdown reception. Chris T. Jones, who just caught that last ball, 19-5 after the safety. Costa threw the ill-advised pass, intentional grounding, then another safety as the punter had one sail about 20 yards over his head and into the end zone. And that's where we stand. The strangest 7 points you'll ever see a team score. 3-2-2 for Arizona State, and it's 19-7. That was a first down catch for Chris T. Jones. The reason we keep calling him Chris T. Jones is because there's a Chris C. Jones that's a tight end on the Hurricanes team. And here is another Jones. There's only 7 of them on the Miami team, so we'll try to keep up with the Joneses, if you will, as we go. And Larry goes out for a good gain, pickup of about 8.
Well, that's what I say. If you can't tell who made a play for Miami, if you just say Jones, you got to.
Yeah.
You can stay in broadcasting a long time.
There's A. Jones.
You know how you call it? You call a team meeting. You just say, "Hey, Jones," and everybody comes up.
3 wideouts to the right side for Costa, and he'll go the other way with Larry Jones. And he's trying to get a first down. I think he got it, but not by much. Closing in was Mike Valiant and Mike Landridge. Landridge has had a good game coming on that shock troop defensive line that Adrian talked about. And there's Valiant, who also has played well on the defensive front for Arizona State. It is a first down, not by much. They'll move the sticks out to the 33-yard line. 14 minutes left in the half. Jones stays in there. Stewart, as we said, with a touchdown tonight, but has not run the ball that much. Movement, jumping off sides is Landridge. The pass delivered, complete to Tellison. That'll be a Miami first down, if indeed it was Mike Landridge who jumped.
offside on the defense, declined, first down.
So they take the play, obviously, pick up about 15, and another Miami first down out to the 47-yard line.
One of the changes this year in the middle right there, that's Olson, Rich Olson, the new offensive coordinator for Miami. A little different for Dennis Erickson, turning the job over of offensive coordinator. Says, now I can take credit for the offense and the defense.
That was his answer when we asked him what it's changed for. The wry smile. He said, now I can take credit for the defense, too. First down for the offense. Costa to throw. Wants a deep one. Lays it out. Man there. And just over the outstretched fingertips of Chris Jones. Boy, Jones, for a big guy, has got some nice speed. He's 6'4", 210.
I'll tell you, Marcus Soward that time was in a zone. He had two people running seam passes. You're right, Brad. 6'4", 210. Sometimes he lines up almost as a tight end look. Soward runs with the ball, squeezes off his defender, and makes it a tough catch for him to the outside.
And stretching out over Soward. Jones injured himself. He's up now, finally. And Chris will make the long run across field.
You know, Brad, with the overloaded defense that Arizona State is running, Kent Baer said he's always going to keep two linebackers inside no matter how many receivers they put in the game. And he just says that we have to force you by alignment to throw the ball. The problem is Miami is going to take those nice hitch passes to the outside and move the chains. Occasionally you have to throw the ball downfield to back up the defenders. I think that's a good call by Rich Jones, throwing it deep.
Jermaine Chambers comes in to take Chris T. Jones' place on a 2nd and 10 at the 47. Again, Arizona State with 8 men up. The quick read and the quick pass, and this will be another Miami touchdown. Nobody's going to catch Jonathan Harris.
Boy, Jonathan Harris, it looked to me that was like a one-handed catch he made on that play.
Was it ever?
It was a hot throw. Frank Costa had a blitzing linebacker right in his face, and what a beautiful catch.
They say with this kind of defense, you're going to pay the price once in a while, and 53 yards later, they just paid it.
You could see it. Oh, it kind of hit him in the shoulder pads, and he just handled the loose ball, and he's gone. He's just running with that one full speed down the sideline, down the middle of the field, and Jonathan Harris, easy touchdown.
Pruitt for the point after. And the Hurricanes have swirled in a hurry again and added another point. Another touchdown. This one from Jonathan Harris, 53 yards, is 26-7.
State Farm presents the rules of the game.
We're talking about defensive offsides. In this play, the defense jumps into the neutral zone before the ball is snapped. What is the penalty?
I'm State Farm agent Jeff Libby. One of the most gratifying parts of my job is helping young parents, people who are just beginning to understand what life insurance is all about. Young couples don't need a sales talk. They just need to talk to someone who understands them and their life insurance needs. Now, I know what that promise of security means, and I don't believe there's a better promise a parent can make.
State Farm sells life insurance.
We're talking about defensive offsides. In this play, a player is in the neutral zone at the snap. This is a 5-yard penalty for defensive offsides.
Rules of the Game has been brought to you by State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
A new wind is rising, bringing change, bringing the all-new Ford Windstar, a totally new minivan. Windstar is the only minivan that combines standard dual airbags, 5-mile-an-hour bumpers, and 4-wheel anti-lock brakes. Plus, it meets all passenger car safety standards. It's safety that takes the minivan in a whole new direction. The all-new front-wheel drive Ford Windstar. The future of minivans begins today.
26-7 Miami, 13-14 left in the first half, and ESPN's presentation of college football is brought to you by County Seat, the place to go for men's and women's Levi's Red Tab jeans. And by the all-new Ford Windstar. The future of minivans begins today. The Miami Hurricanes with a 26-7 lead, and kicking off to Terry Battle and Marcus Soward. It will be Soward from the 3-yard line. Sauer cuts outside and finds himself some room. And a nice return for Marcus out to the 35-yard line. But again, a quick strike offense of Miami, Gary.
One of the things of using 3 wide receivers, here's the blitzing linebacker on Costa right here. That's a hot receiver. Now watch as the ball snaps. If we stop it right about here, here's the rover. He's a combination linebacker and corner. That's tough when you got to cover a guy like that, a wide receiver, and play linebacker one play and cover a guy like Harris who can fly the next play. And you know, they talked about Frank Costa, what he does better this year. Dennis Erickson says he makes his decisions quicker. There's an example of it.
Charles, all wrapped up by Lewis. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd and 10, and we'll go to Mike Tirico. Mike.
Gentlemen, the big teams from Florida have rolled up 151 points already today. First, Terry Dean, 11 touchdowns in 5 quarters this season, including this one to Rydell Anthony in the blowout over Kentucky. Meantime, Danny Werfel of the Seminoles, only 1 touchdown pass, but over 400 yards passing, this one to Kes McCorvey, as Florida State beat Maryland by 32. Big day for the quarterbacks, Brad.
Wow. Isn't that the 2nd week in a row the Gators have put up 73? That's unbelievable. Here, Miami with a 26-7 lead. Big pressure on Plummer, and Jake goes down.
Yeah, Rohan Marley came from the outside that time. Blitzing linebacker, no one picked him up. I don't know if a guard had to come out, but the leading tackler, the quick Marley, just gets into the backfield, and nobody can block it. Coming from the outside of the formation, Marley times it just right. You see the guard or the tackle, someone does not turn out to the outside, and that's a free run at the quarterback. Marley just too quick for anybody to stop and throw the ball in that type of situation.
Last time Rohan played here, he broke his foot in the Fiesta Bowl, so he sat out spring ball, but he came flying back in the fall. Leading tackler coming into this one, as Gary said, and he forces a 3rd and 16. Here comes a blitz, draw play to Charles. Behind his blockers, Charles close to a first down. Looks to be a foot shy. Earl Little made the tackle.
And I tell you what, I don't think you have any choice but to go for it on this play either.
Troy Rauer is down on the field for Arizona State, trying to throw a block out there in front of Charles.
Nice call. 3rd and long. He's going to follow Jeff Kaiser. Jeff Kaiser's 320 pounds. Charles just follows him, kind of screens him a little bit, comes into the secondary, and nearly picks up the first down. Charles done a nice job of filling in for the injured Chris Hopkins with that stinger on the first play of the game.
And you saw the injury behind Charles on Troy Rauer, and he missed a good portion of last year due to injury, broke his right collarbone, and now he's being helped off the field. That's about the 3rd time tonight we've had to see an Arizona State player carried off. And there's Troy Rauer, a junior wide receiver out of St. Joe, Missouri.
Hope his mom and dad aren't watching.
I think he got his hair cut before his dad got here. Going on 4th and 1 and getting it is Arizona State, and it's Ryan Wood.
You know, Brad, going into this season, Bruce Snyder thought he was kind of set at wide receiver. He didn't even recruit a wide receiver. He had Johnny Thomas, Joe Robertson, and Jason McCorvey all coming back, who was counted upon. All 3 of them have been lost because of academics. Now if they lose Rauer, I mean, this is a team that's seriously hurting at the wide receiver position.
And having lost, as you said, Hopkins, the starting tailback, there's 2 skill spots that will be depleted by injury just in this game alone. First down, under 11 minutes, first half, 26-7. Hurricanes. Plummer off play action, never had a chance. Down he goes. Kenny Holmes with a sack and a penalty marker down as well. Warren Sapp got some pressure. And then cleaning up was Kenny Holmes.
I'll tell you, Brad, Warren Sapp was in the backfield that time, like some of the great tackles we've come to watch here at Miami before.
Holding call and a personal foul against Miami.
Warren Sapp, the defensive tackle, the All-American candidate. Here he is right over here. He's just going to power rush, and that's against a pretty good football player, Roquet. Right then, he just gets into the gets into the quarterback, and there's nothing to do but move up in the pocket.
Outland and Lombardi candidate Warren Sapp.
On the offense, 10 yards from the spot of the foul. After the play, personal foul on the defense. Be 15 yards from the succeeding spot, automatic first down.
I'd say it's about a 5-yard pickup.
Yep.
And they'll move it out for a first down.
Well, I think that Arizona State is going to be forced to throw the ball out to their wide receivers. The problem is I don't know if they have enough time to throw the ball to the wide receivers, and I don't know if their wide receivers are quick enough to get open.
We're going against a Miami defense that has a ton of speed. 10:45 and a half, first down at the 45-yard line. Charles again, a nice run into Miami territory as Parnell takes it for about 8 more yards. Parnell Charles, we talked about as one of the senior leaders on this team. Having a good night, 58 yards. He's part of the students taking action to reach success. It's called STARS, and he is one of the guys that's a big proponent of that. He works with a lot of the students here at Arizona State. He says not just the athletes. If, the normal student body has problems, I want to be the guy that will help them out. And he's helping out his offense right now as the tailback instead of the fullback.
He was their third leading receiver last year. He has really good hands for a fullback. And, of course, tonight we're seeing him in the tailback position because of the injury.
Got that one to the 43-yard line. Another first down for the Sun Devils. They hustle up to the line. Arizona State's done it on the ground. Miami's done it through the air. Play action for Plummer. Still very little time to throw. He does get it complete to Clyde McCoy. McCoy, a leading returning receiver.
Every time I watch Miami play, I just marvel at the quickness of their linebackers. Carwin Francis that time is in a zone drop, sees the quarterback throw the ball, and he puts a hit on the wide receiver just like you're supposed to on defense.
Miami defense as a group runs 4-6-4, and that includes everybody, linemen, everybody else. I mean, you talk about speed. Keanu Reeves is the only guy not playing defense out here for Miami, I think. They can get around the football. They show it there. You run wide on this group and you pay the price immediately. Terry Battle maybe got a yard. And Kenny Holmes and Rusty Medeiros on the tackle.
What a story. Rusty Medeiros, granted a 6th-year former All-American candidate. We saw him in a little bit about him. Just reads the blocking assignment, gets into the backfield, and makes the play. What an effort football player.
Dennis Erickson says, I don't think there's any doubt he's lost his step, but the intensity and the leadership that a guy like that brings, who's had to come back from really a 2-year absence from the game and still just loves it that much. 6th-year senior. There's his numbers, 24 sacks and 22 starts. Not bad. Plummer steps up in what is a pocket this time. Incomplete. Lewis was covering the intended receiver, Steve Bush, the tight end.
Tell you, Ray Lewis, the middle linebacker this time, is matched up. No, it's zone coverage. There you see tight end Bush. The throw is pretty good, but when you have linebackers that close to the play, you have to make a perfect throw. Plummer couldn't just put it in the numbers. He had to throw it wide to the outside because Lewis could have made the play from the zone look.
About the only play we haven't seen tonight's a fake punt. Lance Anderson kicked. He just had arthroscopic surgery on his knee 2 weeks ago. Can't be too healthy on a punter, but he lays up a nice lazy kick. German gets out of the way, and Arizona State will down it at the 2. Great coverage. Cole got down there to down it, and Miami's offense will be in a bit of a hole. But on the scoreboard, they look pretty good. Hurricanes lead it 26-7.
150 years ago, Mr. Levi Strauss made the world's first blue jeans. Today, they still sew a few Levi's jeans the real old-fashioned way. And those are the ones with the genuine red tab on the back pocket. They cost a little more because they cost more to make. But if you want the real thing, head straight for County Seat, the place to go for men's and women's Levi's red tab jeans.
Roden Track says the latest and best Mustang hits the ground running. Auto Week says the all-new interior is nothing short of a design triumph. Motor Trend says its first-class styling, dynamics, and performance make it the most significant new American car this year. The all-new Ford Mustang. It is what it was, and more.
Down boot scoot.
Hey, Everyone likes to go out and have a good time.
But if you've had one too many, here's a few suggestions to combine with your night out.
Like calling a cab.
Counting on a friend.
Designating a driver.
Or hey, do what we do. Take the bus home.
That's it, Joe.
Miller Lite and Brooks & Dunn remind you to please think when you drink, because that's a great sounding combination.
Hurricanes by 19 in a place that has not been kind to them over the years. Your good buddy Bernie Kosar was involved in one Fiesta Bowl loss to UCLA, 39-37, then a 14-10 setback to Penn State, and it was Vinny Testaverde at the helm. Cost him a national championship losing that one, and then last year the embarrassment as Arizona just pummeled Miami 29-0. So 0 for 3 on this field, all in Fiesta Bowls, but they got the big lead here in the second quarter. And they start from their own 2-yard line with that 26-7 advantage. Jones, Stewart goes out across the 4-yard line, and we'll go out across the world to Mike Tirico. Mike.
We are the world here tonight, Brad. New Mexico State struggles continue. Final minute, Arizona going for more. It's Dan White up top to Richard Dice. Second hookup for them tonight at the break. Arizona by 31. Brad.
Arizona having a tough time, aren't they? Arizona State.
I guess it's your offense. It's who you're playing against.
That
kind
helps
of
sometimes. Arizona State trailing Miami, the number 16 in the country. And Miami will probably move up one notch in the rankings next week. Play action for Costa. Going for it all down the left side. This could be intercepted, and it is. Picked off by Marcus Soward.
Man-to-man coverage. Marcus Soward. This is a play-action pass. You'll see it all the way. Chris T. Jones is trying to get the ball. He expects it outside. It goes slightly inside. Frank Costa had some pressure as he let go of that ball, but Soward, again, in perfect position. You see Costa kind of falling away on that throw, and that's why the ball hung up and didn't get out to the outside of the field like he wanted it.
Frank got one of his own linemen stuffed in his face as he let go of that thing, and Soward ran under it. So that gives it back to the Arizona State offense at the 45-yard line of Miami. Plummer zips this one complete, and it's Keith Poole, and that could be another first down at the 35-yard line.
I think zip is the terminology that you like to use with Jake Plummer. The ball comes from his hip basically to the receiver. You don't even see his arm move. He's got a great release, great feel for the football game.
Second down, less than one at the 35. Charles has the first down. He's going to carry Lewis with him for a ways. Well, Ray hung with him. That was a nice standoff, wasn't it? Lewis and Charles, and now they're mixing it up on the sideline a little bit in front of the Miami bench. Lewis just a sophomore. As we said, last year a starter as a true freshman.
Again, the game plan still run the ball at the middle linebacker. And you can see with the field type of speed that Lewis has from side to side, I mean, you got a better chance running right at him.
First down, Sun Devils at the Hurricanes 30.
I think it's mandatory that Arizona State puts a touchdown on the board here before half.
Play action, Plummer again with pressure. This one skips off the hands of his intended receiver. Intended out there for Steve Bush, the tight end.
I'll tell you, Warren Sapp has been in the backfield so much that this time he's going to get double teamed. Center of the guard, Keich, and Martz does a good job of keeping him, but because of that, there was a linebacker to the outside to put a little pressure on Plummer again.
Second down, 10. 6.5 to go in the half. Charles. Boy, he's on his way maybe to a 100-yard night as he gets inside the 25-yard line. Adrian.
Right, Coach Snyder just turned around and said, where's Rauer? Well, I hate to be the one to tell the coach, Brad, but Troy Rauer has gone to the locker room on crutches with an injury to the inside of his left ankle. Possible fracture. They're going to check with x-rays now in the next few minutes, but don't expect him to see it play in the rest of the first half.
Wow, tough break for Rauer, as we said. A broken bone last year in his shoulder kept him out of a good chunk of the season. Parnell Charles has been a big chunk of the offense for Arizona State. 75 yards on the ground. Speaking of grounded, Plummer goes down to the ground. Ray Lewis on the blitz. And help from Sapp.
I'll tell you, Jake Plummer has to change up his snap count. Those linebackers are really timing out the blitzes and just making it too tough on the offensive line to pick it up. You'll see Ray Lewis, he almost gets a running start at the quarterback. The center does not come off his block in time, and he's in the backfield. There's nothing you can do.
4th down, and the field goal unit on. Baker will try one from about 47 yards away. His career long is 51 last year against Stanford. He was roughed on his last field goal attempt. He got into this one, and it's good. John Baker, the field goal maker, has tacked on 3 more for the Sun Devils. Still, though, the Hurricanes lead by 16.
Putting on miles shopping for a new car? Blake Chevy, Buick, and Geo will turn those miles into Blake Bucks. Cut your best deal.
Doctors and therapists were a vital part in my rehabilitation team. It was a lot of hard work, but I've learned when you work with the best, anything's possible. Thanks, Health South.
The quarterback drops back and rolls right. He fakes the pass and pitches to ESPN. ESPN takes the whole college football season and runs with it. Running, hitting, diving, scoring, and we got the games. Thursday at 8, Duke's Blue Devil defense tries to snap Army's wishbone offense. We're gonna go, go, go. And we won't stop till we cross that goal line. ESPN college football. It's inspirational.
And we thank you for the welcome. 26-10 with 5:06 left in the half.
What's ESP for? Oh, that's an N. Last field goal kick. Jake Plummer does a nice job on this one. The ball was a little bit slightly inside. Now, Jake Plummer usually holds it with his left hand. This time, because of the knuckler, he just barely got that ball down and held it with his right hand.
So the Snake with a good job. Baker, not just a kicker. He's quite an athlete. Finished 2nd in the Pac-10 in the long jump last year. You don't usually get that from your average kicker. His 47-yarders made it 26-10. His kickoff goes to Jamie German at the 3-yard line and got out across the 25 to the 26. Be sure to be with ESPN coming up tomorrow. It's NFL Game Day and NFL Prime Time. Game Day starts at noon Eastern. Chris Berman, Joe Theismann, Tom Jackson, Chris Mortensen, and Phil Simms give you the most comprehensive pregame show in the NFL. Then at 7, Chris and Tom are back with Prime Time. You'll see highlights and analysis of all the day's games. Game Day and Prime Time tomorrow, right here on ESPN. Brad Nessler, Gary Danielson, Adrian Karsten with you. Sun Devil Stadium in Tempe, Arizona with 5:01 left first half. In a 26-10 Miami lead. They'll go from the shotgun with 5 wideouts for Frank Costa. Comes to German on the near side. And German is going to have a first down.
You have 5 wideouts in the game. You're always going to obviously have a hot receiver. That time the wide receiver, German, was the hot. He ran a short hitch to the outside. If they would have had an overloaded blitz on the play, Brad, he just would have thrown it to the outside. Costa took the easy throw. And that easy of a throw to get 10 yards is kind of tough on this defense.
That sure is. They did get the first down. They come right back with the same formation. And the clock winds its way to 4:45 in the half.
Yeah, they're going to mismatch again.
Costa with 2 touchdown passes already tonight. He's in trouble this time, though, and he got leveled. Eric Schmidt, probably the most undersized defensive lineman you'll find anywhere in college football, but he shows his intensity there. The senior comes up with a sack.
I'll tell you, Arizona State lined up in the wrong defense this time, and that's really what confused Frank Costa. Arizona State had guys running around at the snap of the ball. Really, it ended up being a zone defense, kind of confused Frank. Had to pull it down one more time, the sack. German's out to the outside. He's the hot player to the outside that time. You see the squat to the outside by the zone defense. They had to pull it down.
Brings up 2nd and 15. Costa with plenty of time this time. And a first down throw to midfield with a flag down.
Yeah, they're going to get Holden in the backfield on that one. Eric Schmidt was held on that play. I believe it was Lemolsky
Lemelski's 311 pounds, and Schmidt is maybe 230. He's about 6 feet tall, a fifth-year senior who's just worked so hard that there's no way that the Arizona State coaches can keep him out of the lineup. He's not the most physically gifted guy you'll find.
Schmidt's right here. He takes an inside pass rush. Lemelski has to grab him as he's got a free run to the quarterback. And a little bit of a tough call on that play. He had an arm under that time, and he just rode him into the ground. But I guess with the big lead, you get a couple calls against you.
Second down and 30 now as the Hurricanes, who started with the quick 10-yarder to German, going the other way now as they try to move it down the field in the final 3.5 minutes first half. There's that wide receiver screen to Jamie German. And German gets into the secondary across the 35 and got back close to the original line of scrimmage at the 36-yard line. Harlan Rashada brought him down. Pickup of 19, though.
Brad, last year we were doing an Ohio State game, and Sid Gilman was at the game telling me that when he saw that in college football the linemen could go downfield on a forward pass, he said,
I'd use it all day,
I'd be running that play all day. That is a dynamic play. And I'll tell you, that was a zone defense by Arizona State that time, and they still were outnumbered after he caught the ball.
Third down and a dozen. 3 minutes left in the half. 26-10 Hurricane. Costa, plenty of time. Fires high. Not able to hold it is Jones. Nice hit by Marcus Sauer, who's starting to settle in over on that cornerback spot.
Jones is 6'4", and Costa threw it too high. Jones could not even jump for it. He had him, Brad, wide open for a first down. You make a couple bad throws like that, and you'll get the other team into the football game.
Just got the crowd into the football game for the first time in quite some time.
I'll tell you, if the Devils come down and put some points on the board, they're going to have a football game in the second half.
Mike Chrissy, his first punt of the season. There's his numbers from last year. The pressure came on Chrissy, and a flag goes down. Running into the punter or roughing the punter is about to come up. Arizona State decided with the bad snaps that Miami's been suffering. Why not put 10 guys up and come after him, and they hit him. Now, if it's running into or roughing, we'll find out. It was 4th down and 12. On the other end, Clyde McCoy down on the punt return.
Personal foul, roughing the kicker.
First down.
Defense, automatic first down.
That's 15. They walk it off. First down way out by midfield.
Clyde McCoy is a receiver they just can't afford to lose. You see the rush is on. Running into the kicker is on the play. That's a good call. Exposed, but Justin Langston is the guy who's going to get the shot, number 59. Coming in from the left side. From the right side right there, boy, he just gets pasted.
And he's walking it off. They're going to need him. He'll feel that one worse tomorrow, you can bet. So an automatic first down for Miami. Just when it appeared the Sun Devils would have an opportunity to try to get some more points before the break, they see the Miami offense now set to start near midfield. In fact, at the 49 of Arizona State. Killer penalty there. Talk about a double whammy. You get 15 walked off, and you get your starting wide receiver shaken up on the other end of the play. Trips to the top of your screen for Costa. He'll keep it on the ground to Stewart. Stewart, that power and speed, he's still on his feet. They never did bring him down. He got to about the 42-yard line. Last year, Stewart did not start a game and still finished with over 600 yards rushing. And last week, he splashed on the scene with 145 yards and 3 touchdowns against Georgia Southern. So far, not much work tonight.
Well, it's hard to be patient with the running game when Arizona State is going to outnumber you with their defense, and you got man-to-man coverage of those wide receivers. Why run it?
Second down, 3. Here's the quick toss, and dropping the ball was Trent Jones. He might have been off to the races at least for another 10 or 15 yards and didn't hold it.
Uncovered wide receiver. Arizona State playing a zone defense. Frank Costa sees the receiver uncovered. Tries to get the ball to Trent Jones and slightly behind, and Jones does not come up with the catch.
Costa with 3 touchdowns already. 2 interceptions, one by Trevon Johnson and one by Marcus Soward. 3rd down. A long 3 upcoming for the Hurricanes. At the Sun Devil 42-yard line. This is a big play for the Arizona State defense. And Stewart's got the 1st down and a bunch more. Boy, he hit that corner in a hurry. And a flag goes down at the end of the play on the sideline. If it's a late hit on Arizona State, that's going to move the ball way down near the 15.
Terrell Green that time, number 51, the left guard for Miami, came out very nicely on the blocking play. Took out, looked like one linebacker, and took the angle away from the defensive back, and Stewart was able to turn the corner for Miami.
Pat Flood will give us the official call, which appears to be a late hit.
The result of the play is a 1st down. After the play, personal foul, late hit out of bounds on the defense, automatic 1st down.
Malachi Crawford, the defensive end, is the guy that's going to come over after Stewart already is out of bounds. There it came.
Absolutely. Good 6-8 feet out of bounds, and they're going to call it every time.
As we said, it moves it inside the 15 of Arizona State. What a turn here. Arizona State, before roughing the punter, had an opportunity to get the ball back and could do no worse, you didn't think, than 26-10 at halftime. Now they're staring down that big barrel of the Miami offense again. And it'll be Stewart. Gives a lot of ground to try to gain some, and it won't work for him. Trevon Johnson makes the tackle. And again, Stewart going east-west instead of north-south, which is what the coaches want him to do. They love it when he just takes off up in there and heads toward the goalpost.
Sean Sueda, number 99, comes in here and kind of puts the pressure on the center. That's what kind of causes the problem into the backfield. Sueda pushes him, forces Stewart to bounce it outside, and all the pursuit from the Arizona State defense comes for no gain.
Costa's 3 receivers to the left on 2nd down and 12. Wants to throw outside that way and has his man. Jones leaped for the end zone and got to about the 1-foot line. Boy, he stretched out that 6'4", but he just ran out of real estate in the corner, and an Arizona State player face down.
I think it's Marcus Soward, too. Soward was in a zone look this time, looking at the quarterback. See everybody dropping, looking at the quarterback. Frank Costa puts it to the outside. He has to try to save the touchdown. Goes up.
Boy, Soward is the one that put the shoulder in and paid the price.
I'll tell you, Lee Cole might have been the guy who put it on Soward from the side.
Chris T. Jones, meanwhile, has 70 yards on 6 catches and a touchdown and almost had a second one there.
Oh, is he a good-looking receiver?
Got that tremendous size, and with that size, you automatically think maybe there isn't that kind of speed, but he's proven he's had that tonight, too. Marcus sitting up now over at the goal line.
And I think what's what really come to fruition in this game is what Dennis Erickson told us yesterday, Brad. Last year when teams went with an 8-man front, our receivers just couldn't get open and make plays. He said, we're healthy this year, we're experienced, we're committed, we're making plays with the wide receiver. No one's going to be able to line up in an overloaded defense and match our receivers man-to-man.
Well, now with a 1st down at about the 1-foot line, you expect you're going to see James Stewart behind a block from his fullback about 3 times here if necessary. Derek Harris is the man in front of him. 1st and goal, Miami. Stewart hitting the backfield, bounces off. Did he get in? Yes. Touchdown, Miami.
Dan Lucas got in there and made the play, but James Stewart just ran right through the tackle. Dan Lucas does a nice job timing it out, gets into the backfield. Here he is right here. He's going to pinch right in here. Hits James Stewart. Boom. Just peels back into the end zone. And when you line up the ball on the 3-inch line, it's not hard to make 3 inches.
Here's the goal line look. Oh boy, I don't know if he got there, Gary. Pruitt, point after, is good. It's all academic. Lucas makes a nice play. Dan Lucas, who was shaken up earlier in the game, puts a helmet on Stewart, but they give Stewart the touchdown anyway from about a foot away.
I was sure this year's father-son picnic was on Saturday, but they said no, it was definitely on Sunday. And you know, they never listen to me.
Here's to wise men, wiser women, and comfortable blue jeans. Wrangler.
Shake it, no dandruff. You've got Selsun Power. Brush it, no flakes. You've got Selsun Power with Selsun Blue. Doctors recommend it #1 over all leading brands. Dandruff problem? No way. You've got Selsun Power.
Goodyear announces all Wranglers on sale for pickups, 4x4s, and vans. And that's not all. Save 25% on selected passenger and performance radials. Sale ends September 17th at participating Goodyear retailers.
Fresh beer has a lot of enemies. One of those is heat. That's why we insist that every Coors distributor has a refrigerated warehouse. Another enemy is time. So we put a date on every package to help us ensure the beer you buy meets our freshness standards. When you live and work out here, freshness is something you might take for granted. We don't.
.133 left in the half, 33-10 Arizona State. So we're 93 seconds away from our halftime report. And we'll look back at the Michigan-Notre Dame game, an update on the Pac-10, and a big day for Florida. The Seminoles and the Gators roll big, and Miami trying to do the same here.
They've got a good start at it.
They sure do. Stewart, who just scored a touchdown, or did he? At any rate, the score is 33-10. Kick to Terry Battle. Terry Battle, one man left, and the one man got him.
Remember how this drive started. 4th and about 12. Miami is punting. Justin Langston, number 59, does run into the punter. There's no doubt about that. But is that roughing the punter? He's stopping, trying to moving away. That, to me, is running into the punter. Now, here's the last play. Did he get past the line? Lucas is in there. Jason Kyle, let's stop it right there. Now, to me, the line comes right about down here.
Nice drawing, Gare.
And I don't think he ever makes it past that line. Now, admittedly, it was first down in inches, but he didn't score on that play.
Parnell Charles outside. Pulls his way, lost the ball. Miami's covered it. Rohan Marley's got the fumble recovery. Charles had a great game trying to get a little bit extra. Bruce Snyder's on the far side saying he was down, he was down.
No, I don't think he was down. At least first look at it. I'd like to see the replay of it, but Charles coming out, just trying to run the ball and get out of here at halftime. Breaks to his left, takes a hit, and that ball is loose just as his knee's going to the ground, but I think it was out before his knee touched the ground.
They're going to let Arizona State have it.
Boy, that was very close.
That's why you don't want a job wearing stripes. At the 44-yard line. So now the Sun Devils do have 1:15 to work. They're trailing by 23. And they'll go with just a quick opener and maybe 2 more yards for Charles. And Miami's defense clapping their hands as if to say, that's fine. Keep it on the ground, guys. We just soon have it that way.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised. You know, I mean, there's a minute and more and a half. The ball's on the 40-yard line.
Got your timeouts?
Let's throw the ball. What's the difference, 33-10 or 39-10?
They will throw here. Plummer, straight drop over the middle. Nice catch made by the tight end, Steve Bush.
I'll tell you one thing that's very evident when you watch the game up here is people are not that open.
No, they're not. And that's the Miami speed, it seems like.
Absolutely.
And that's not to take anything away from their scheme, but their scheme happens to involve speed.
Yes.
First down, they move the sticks. The clock stopped momentarily with 33 seconds left as Plummer barks directions to both wide receivers. At the 42 of the Hurricanes. Plummer Checks down. He goes incomplete, intended again for Steve Bush's tight end. Covered out there by James Burgess. But a penalty marker came up right at the snap. Busy group of Pac-10 officials, led by Pat Flood. They had their hands full right from before the opening kickoff, as we showed you to start the game. Both teams were woofing it up a little bit before the game.
I'll tell you, here's the wide receiver. Here's Keith Poole right here. Coming off. Carlos Jones got him, pushing him to the outside. That guy's covered.
6 on the line on the offense.
Chad Wilson right here, coming to the other side.
Clyde McCoy's covered.
McCoy by Chad Wilson. He's covered. Who you throw the ball to? You know, you want to throw the ball in 2.5 seconds?
Your tight end.
What if nobody's open in 2.5 seconds, Coach?
He's gone to the tight end the last 2 times, not finding anybody else out there. Now he's going to go deep. Overshot his receiver, and it is intercepted. Picked off by Carlos Jones, who again had his man covered. 5th turnover by Arizona State.
This time Plummer's going to try to throw the ball deep. Maybe they got him jammed so far close. We're going to go the ball deep this time. McCartney, Dedrick McCarthy. Oh, you see the receiver that time stop on the ball. You can't stop when the ball's in the air. He didn't think the ball was come to him. Plummer said he wanted to play against Miami. Welcome to playing against Miami, Jake.
Yeah, what a great deal that is, huh? The 9-yard line, the Hurricanes take over. Plummer on the sidelines. Done for the first half, it would appear, with 18 seconds left. I'm Arizona State. I don't let Miami throw one more wide receiver screen here in the last 18 seconds. Costa will take a knee. And the Hurricanes will head to the locker room with a 23-point lead. Quick strikes tonight. Costa with 3 touchdown passes. Arizona State with some chances, but they were not able to capitalize. And at the end of the first half, our score 33-10, Miami out in front. Mike Tirico's next with a halftime report. That's coming up right after this.
What is it about Ford Taurus that makes it America's best-selling car? Is it the number of ways it finds to protect you and your passengers? Its confident feel on the road? Or the fact that we improved it over 50 ways to make it the best Taurus ever? Whatever the reasons, you've made Ford Taurus the best-selling car in America. Again.
These guys are good. Who are you calling guys? Yeah.
Looks like you're in the finals. Ma'am, for the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
You're the defending ladies pool champion?
Yes, I am.
Individuals. Only one is the toughest mother of them all. Mother Gert Boyle. Maker of Tough Mother Jean.
Late night with the college football gang. Everyone's still working hard here at our ESPN studios as it's been a busy Saturday of college football, and we're going to get back to South Bend, Indiana for some perspective on the day and that great game out there. Guys, fire a pot of coffee as we welcome you to the halftime report. Big Miami lead right now at halftime over Arizona State. Let's get you updated on the games that are going on right now, starting with Arizona. Poor New Mexico State bombed 70-21 at Gainesville last week. Have to go into Arizona. Not a fun place as Arizona opens its home season. Dan White in the air, 2 touchdowns to Richard Dice. This the second, closing seconds of the first half, a 38-yard score. Tack on top of that, Antoine Carter's 131 yards and 2 scores in the first half, and a Steve McLaughlin field goal just a couple of minutes ago. It's 34-0. Real close one in the opener for Cal. They have just scored, and the Bears now lead. Ted Tollner, San Diego State run and shoot. The score is 20-19, time running down in the fourth quarter. Baylor scored 35 in the first quarter, bombing San Jose State by 34. And in Salt Lake City, Mike McCoy's throwing has Utah up 59-0 on Idaho State. The close games continue in the Michigan-Notre Dame series. It's a shame we won't see it again until 1997, because every year they come out early in the year and play fantastic football. The game today came down to this fourth quarter. Down 6 on the kickoff. Mike Miller for Notre Dame explodes on the right side, getting the blockers into Wolverine territory to the 38-yard line. After 3 plays, Ron Paulus to Derek Mays in the end zone, knocked down by Deion Johnson. Flag coming, pass interference. First and goal, Irish. Paulus, after a penalty, moved them back 5. Finds Mays, tremendous catch. Irish lead by 1. 52 seconds left. Still time for Coach Mo. Todd Collins to the transferred quarterback. He was a quarterback, now a tight end. Jay Remersma moves it closer. 2 plays later, Collins eludes the rush, finds Smith, who gets out of bounds, and an opportunity for Remy Hamilton to be a hero.
Oh, last snap that it's placed down. The kick is on its way. It's high enough, long enough. It's good! Remy Hamilton has done it! A 42-yard field goal with 2 seconds to play.
Disappointment on the face of Paulus. Elation for Michigan as the Wolverines behind 100 yards, 2 from Saminga Biaka-Patuka, and 6 Michigan sacks beat Notre Dame by 2. More on that game in a minute. Some of the other top 25 games. Number 2, Florida. Upset a little that they were dropped in the polls after 70 against New Mexico State. 73 put up by Terry Dean. Rydell Anthony, the catch there, and the rest of the Gators. Dean has 11 touchdown passes in just 5 quarters this year. Next week, they play at Tennessee here on ESPN. The Penn State Nittany Lions roll. 21 quick points. Keyjana Carter, 90 seconds into the game. Some of his 119 yards following up his 210 against Minnesota. Pure dominance over a Southern Cal team that looked so good against Washington last week. SMU UCLA. What a game this turned out to be. $1:45 left, fourth quarter. 17-10 UCLA. SMU first and goal. Raymond Flanagan, the quarterback, is stopped, no gain. Second and goal. Jacques Smith up the middle. Loses 2. Third and goal from the 5. Flanagan drops back. In trouble. The linebacker, Donnie Edwards, puts him down at the 17. Edwards has 4.5 sacks after delay of game. Fourth and goal from the 22. Dante Womack is out there, but he can't come back in time. Tom Rossley, the coach whose son caught a touchdown pass, saw his team come so close to an immense upset. But behind Sharman Shah's running, UCLA survives. Go to Lincoln next week to face the Cornhuskers. Texas A&M, they're on probation. You can't see them on TV. They whip Oklahoma. An impressive showing. Corey Pulling a good day in the air. As for Texas, after the close win at Pitt, they go back home, get Mike Adams back. Shea Morenz looks sharp. And Longhorns get a much-deserved week off after a 14-point win. 1 AA record set by Air McNair, Steve McNair, 647 yards of total offense. That a record as Alcorn State wins big. Full reaction on some of the action that we just showed you, some of the big storylines of this second Saturday of college football, and the game they witnessed. They had the pleasure of witnessing Michigan-Notre Dame. Back to South Bend and Chris Fowler. Chris?
Thanks, Mike. It was a pleasure. It's wake up the echoes here, but they're painful echoes of the Boston College loss. Could be another painful development for Notre Dame. Derek Mays, who injured his ankle on that final touchdown catch, it was very swollen after the game. His status uncertain for Michigan State. Let's salute the guys who filled in for Michigan. All the injured players were a major concern. Trevor Price fills in for Matt Dyson, a fumble recovery. He had 2 sacks. Biaka-Patuka, 102 yards, and Remy Hamilton, who just won the kicking job this week. 4 of 5 in the game winner.
How about Todd Collins, too, the veteran quarterback? He goes in. He has an outstanding game. Matter of fact, I think this may have been the ball game for Todd Collins that turns the point, a new change in his career. I talked with him Tuesday. I was in Ann Arbor, and he said, you know, I feel a lot better. I'm a confident guy, and it showed in the fourth quarter. Michigan's trying to stretch the lead out on Notre Dame. It's 4th and 5. He avoids a sack. He doesn't give up. He finds a Monty Toomer 15-yard gain. It is an excellent opportunity for him now that he's got his confidence to go ahead and spill on over into the rest of his teammates in that Big Ten run, and that'll make a big difference for them.
Well, it was a great win for Michigan, and also a very important point that's hidden here. They now have the confidence, as Craig was talking about, to come from behind. Wherever they're playing, home or away. They got a week off, and then they really go after the title. They got Colorado, Michigan State, Penn State, Wisconsin, and Ohio State. They won the battle, but they got the toughest road to try to win a national title of anyone in the country.
But all those teams, except for Ohio State that you mentioned, have to come to the Big House. Penn State should you roll into Ann Arbor unbeaten. Michigan could be unbeaten if they get by Colorado. The Nittany Lions is impressive as any team we've seen.
Well, they're so impressive offensively. That's what's great about them. They've averaged over 38 points a game for the last 8 games. And how they do it? Balance. They got the best balance of anybody in the nation. If you'll notice there, look, 631 to 592. You don't know how to stop them. I think you're right. I think they'll go into Michigan undefeated. And this is important because one of the things that they have to understand is they do not play Wisconsin. So the Michigan Penn State game is very important because of that.
Now, you also look at the Southwest Conference today. This is a huge turning point for them, potentially. All the coaches in the Southwest Conference tell me that it is full of sophomores that are extremely talented. A&M's huge victory over Oklahoma surprised me. I didn't think that would happen. Texas needed the win for Makovic. You look at what Baylor's doing against San Jose State. Baylor, in my mind, is going to be a great team that a lot of people will find out about later. SMU with a near scare there for UCLA. And don't forget about on Thursday night, Texas Tech. They played a good game against the number 1 team in the country, Nebraska, for 3 quarters.
A shameless plug. The guy lives in Dallas.
Hey, you don't get many chances to plug the Southwest Conference anymore. See, you mentioned the Nebraska game. This is going to be a very interesting week for the polls. Florida, a 73-7 winner. They were irate about dropping in the polls. At least their fans were, not Steve Spurrier. He has it in perspective. Terry Dean pulled in the 3rd quarter. It wasn't like they really tried to pile it on a Kentucky team that's really not that bad, but maybe the Gators themselves believe that by piling up these huge scores, they can get back to number 1. Nebraska was not blowing out Texas Tech really until midway in the 3rd quarter. Should be a very interesting week to see how the polls shake down as far as 1 versus 2. That'll do it from South Bend. Mike Tirico will take you back from the studio when we continue. It's Miami trying to erase some painful memories, and in Tempe, up 33-10 at the break.
It could only come from here. Canada, the home of ice. Molson Ice. Ice brewed by North America's oldest brewery to be colder and bolder. Yet smooth as ice. Molson Ice. From the land where ice was born.
The cowboy's business is a business of silence. 100 miles of fence gives a person time to think, to wonder about who he is, what the world is coming to. Talk to a cowboy long enough and you'll get an opinion on everything. That's because he's had time to think about everything. Yeah, at Wrangler, we know cowboys. Our genes were invented by them. That's why the West is in us. Wrangler, the Western original.
You know, MCI makes it sound so easy to get big savings with those friends and family plans, but first you got to give out a list of names and numbers of your friends and family. Then MCI will try to call and sign them up, and still, anytime you call anybody not on your list, you won't save anything at all. You may even have to pay up to $36 a year in fees. Could be it's just a lot of hoopla after all.
Your true voice.
Miami leads by 23. Welcome back to our halftime report. Mike O'Kane's the coach at North Carolina State. Last year, he went back to his alma mater, Clemson, and went into Death Valley. They played a good game but lost by 6. Going back in this year, a different story for the Wolfpack. Quarterback Terry Harvey airing it out to Eddie Goins between 2 defenders. He's got it, and they're not going to get him. 76 yards, 2 touchdowns on the day for Goins. That's a school record. It's Clemson's worst home defeat since Duke beat them 34-17 back in 1980. Staying in the ACC, Florida State trailed at halftime for the first time since they've been a member of the ACC, but beat Maryland by 32. Vanderbilt and Alabama was a 7-7 game into the 4th behind the running of Sherman Williams and 4 Vandy turnovers. Bama survives to win by 10. Auburn has the nation's longest win streak in Division 1A. It's now 13 games, taking on LSU next week. Auburn wins tonight by 32. Wisconsin gets the season off to a good start with the first shutout by a Badger team in 11 years. Next week, Wisconsin at Colorado on ESPN at 9:30 Eastern. The Big Ten Pac-10 matchups today. Washington in another one of them, the unranked Huskies, at home, where they have won 11 straight against Big Ten teams, beating Ohio State 211 for Nappy Kaufman. Stanford Northwestern may have been the best finish of the day. Bill Walsh and Steve Stenstrom are down 7. It's 4th and goal. They're going for it, obviously. Stenstrom, no receivers, keeps it and scores. Extra point, we're tied at 41. They have the ball back. 3rd and 15, Stenstrom. To Mark Harris, it's a 1st down. They move it closer for Eric Abrams. He had never missed from inside the 29. He missed from 24. Game ends tied, 41-41. Dennis Lundy of Northwestern on the ground, 130 yards and 3 touchdowns rushing. Virginia Tech fell behind 14-0 in Hattiesburg, but rallies to win 24-14. They played the Golden Eagles and won this week. They travel to play the Golden Eagles of BC next week. BYU opening 2-0 in conference after the long trip to Hawaii, the shorter trip to Colorado Springs, beating Air Force by 24. As we go to break, more scores, including Bart Baldwin kicked a school record 5th field goal as time expired, a 47-yarder, and Tulane spoils Ken Hatfield's Rice debut.
When one dealership in South Florida guarantees the best price on new Mitsubishis, why go anywhere else? Gold Coast Mitsubishi will beat any deal, any advertised price or payment from any Mitsubishi dealer. Guaranteed. Or we'll pay you the difference in cash. Choose from the largest selection of brand new 1994 and 95 Mitsubishis, including the all-new Eclipse. Gold Coast Mitsubishi will beat any deal, price or payment guaranteed. Only at Gold Coast Mitsubishi at Gold Coast Auto Mall.
If you own a BMW, Volvo, or Mercedes-Benz, you are in a class by yourself. Intelligent, discriminating, sophisticated. And when it comes to service, Active Auto Work sets a new standard in automotive repair facilities. Established, professional, confident. To maintain your BMW, Volvo, or Mercedes-Benz at peak performance, Active Auto Work and an uncompromising pursuit of excellence is the only name you need to know.
Conference. Its academic and athletic excellence is as great as the territory it encompasses, stretching from Washington in the northwest to Arizona in the southwest. Unparalleled in athletic success, the Pac-10 has won more NCAA championships than any other conference. The 10 members have been providing the best in quality higher education for more than a century. The Pacific 10 Conference, leading America into the 21st century.
The Berlin Wall came down. Your world map is obsolete. The United Nations said no to a dictator, and the Soviet Union said yes to democracy. Our world is changing every day, and in this time of incredible transformation, you can't afford to sit back and watch it pass you by.
Take charge of your future through education, and whether you're just taking a few classes or working toward a degree, remember, there's a place for you at Arizona State University.
Defensive star of the day may be Reggie Tung of Oregon State. 2 interception returns, 4 touchdowns. Duke's Blue Devils have won 18 straight non-conference home games. They play Army Thursday night on ESPN. Nod to Kansas for their big win over Michigan State by 7. Indiana freshman running back Alex Smith, 193 yards on the ground in the IU win. Purdue scores the last 44 points to snap a 10-game losing streak. Syracuse scores 21 in the third, bounced back from the disappointing loss to Oklahoma with a victory. And LSU, Curly Hallman, a big win as Jackie Sherrill's now 1-6 against the Tigers. We're at halftime. What a big first half for Frank Costa. 3 scores, including this one to Jonathan Harris, coming right at you. Miami leads by 23.
It was over 100 years ago that a small group of men had an idea to combine the new technology of GE electric lighting with football, the first night football game. Both the players and the engineers ran into a few setbacks. While that evening was by no means a great success, the GE engineers knew there would be other nights, brighter nights. And even today, with all our advanced technology, at GE, we know it's just the beginning. The future will be more brilliant than any of us can imagine.
Night football. Yeah, that'll be the day.
If you're in high school and you want to play sports at an NCAA Division I or II school, you must be certified by the NCAA Initial Eligibility Clearinghouse. Ask your coach or guidance counselor for one of these student release forms. Fill it out and send it to the clearinghouse. Remember, if you're not certified, you can't compete as a freshman in NCAA Division I or II. For more information, call 319-337-1492.
One score to update. It is now a final in San Diego State at the Murph. Ed Tollner's got the run and shoot in. They come back. Peter Holt, a 32-yard field goal. San Diego State gets the win. We're going back to Brad for the second half after this.
When one dealership in South Florida guarantees the best price on new Mitsubishis, why go anywhere else? Gold Coast Mitsubishi will beat any deal, any advertised price or payment from any Mitsubishi dealer. Guaranteed. Or we'll pay you the difference in cash. Choose from the largest selection of brand new 1994 and 95 Mitsubishis, including the all-new Eclipse. Gold Coast Mitsubishi will beat any deal, price or payment guaranteed. Only at Gold Coast Mitsubishi at Gold Coast Auto Mall.
If you own a BMW, Volvo, or Mercedes-Benz, you are in a class by yourself. Intelligent, discriminating, sophisticated. And when it comes to service, Active Auto Work sets a new standard in automotive repair facilities. Established, professional, confident. To maintain your BMW, Volvo, or Mercedes-Benz at peak performance, Active Auto Work and an uncompromising pursuit of excellence is the only name you need to know.
Private university dedicated to excellence, the University of Miami.
Back in Tempe at Sun Devil Stadium, where Miami leads the Sun Devils 33-10 as we're set to start the third quarter. Miami trying to win on a field that has not been friendly. 0-3 in Fiesta Bowls here. And last year, Dennis Erickson said he couldn't get it to his wide receivers, especially in that bowl game. He found a way in this half, Gare.
Well, one was by alignment from the Arizona State defense, but two was execution. He did it to three different guys. Jamie German does it first on the wide receiver screen. No one's going to catch him.